So I made a diagram. We'll blow it up. It'll be, like you said, we're going to edit it and blow it up.
And this camera, right?
Yeah. You can see it's the dot. So 7 levels, they call it 7 ragas. In Asia and in the East, they have music deduced down to 7 musical notes. Ragas, that's what musical note means in Sanskrit. Ragas are basically psychological and spiritual expressions through sound. So he said love, that's a spiritual expression or raga. But you have other type of music being expressed, like we have greed, lust. These are all different levels of out psychology. Whenever when I was speaking about spirituality, I gotta make this clear. You look up the root word of spirit, it comes from the word breath. Now, breath basically just means your psychology or your mind, your consciousness. So spirit just means consciousness. Go to the Hebrew word is ruach. It just means breath. So we're not speaking of like a spook deities or somewhere, out in outer space somewhere. We're invoking them. We're speaking about conscious experiences that you're invoking and that you're manipulating in your own life. So that's what we mean by spirituality. So each one of these 7 levels, though, they have 7 different ragas that are expressive of different things. But the drums preside over the lower. Drums is bass. It's basically the physical material world, or what you might say is the earth. But the string instruments is pretty much like a lot lighter. They may be not necessarily the earth, but they're like, it's 5 elements. So the earth is the drums, basically. But water, fire, and air is basically the string. So these are all elemental principles. Once you move beyond the string instruments, you go to the flute. Flute is air and what's called Akash or black matter. So that's something that is codified. You can go to certain texts. This is in the Upanishad. So I got to plug in references so people can go do their research.
Yeah.
But these texts were written about 3,500 BCE. So there really was no other societies that were that advanced during this time period to this level of being able to document this type of information about music. So to study the origin of music, you can go to ancient Egypt, no doubt. You can go to the whole Nile Valley. You can go to Kush, Ethiopia, and you're safe there because they're going to give you a whole lot of knowledge about the insight about what music and the origin of it actually is. But the thing is, I usually try to go to the East because they preserved it so perfect. They preserved it well. The ancient Egyptians, we have a lot of difficulties because they have had a hard time preserving. There's no modern day ancient Egyptians that are custodians. Yeah, even so, you have certain Turks and Arabs, and I'm not gonna get into no ethnic discussion right now about that, but the legacy of these great civilizations, a lot of them are African and South Asian, but they have not been preserved. So we have to find places on the planet where we still see their beacons of light to this very day. So that's why India stands out like a jewel, but so do certain places in West Africa. But I don't want to go along with it. Let me stay in Asia, and I can kind of pivot back to you all. But in Asia, they have this concept, and we talked about it last time I was here. We're going to record it this time, and this is going to be the big theme, is that music is God. It's key. What I just showed you, just 7 levels of God manifesting in reality. So I can break that down in the future. I'll go more thoroughly into the details of that. But basically, in the ancient world, they say God is sound, or God is music itself.